It's a shameful thing. Lobster head. Sheamus is leaving the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and this was not the video I planned on making for today. In fact, I didn't even plan a video at all. I was actually working on tomorrow's video, which is about Cody Rhodes and what Big E talked about in his interview with Chris Van Vliet about how WrestleMania 38 was going to be different and how Cody Rhodes' path to finishing the story might have been a whole lot different. But then this news broke, and man, it's I get it. You know, it's TKO is running things. It's not the same WWE under Vince McMahon where you would see guys like a Sheamus, the New Day, who you would think at the end of the day would be WWE lifers, right? You know, that's the term that we throw around is like, oh, these guys would never leave WWE. They're WWE for life. And then TKO comes in and completely destroys that narrative. And if the reports are correct from Fightful, this is indeed another New Day situation where TKO approached Sheamus about a restructured contract, and Sheamus apparently turned them down. And because of that, just like the New Day turned down their restructured deal. They then left the WWE. It does seem as if Sheamus, who was previously under contract, at least according to all reports, through 2029, will now be leaving the WWE soon. Now, how soon? Who knows? But we do know that the New Day, their contract, they had just signed a new deal when TKO a year later came to them and said, hey, we need you to do a restructured deal. They said no. Now they're gone. So, seems to me a lot of superstars are getting asked to take a restructured contract, and a lot of them are being given the option of taking it or leaving. And quite honestly, I don't blame them. I think what we've seen WWE under TKO, like I said, that term WWE for life is gone. It doesn't even exist anymore. At the end of the day, this is not Vince McMahon running things. I do honestly believe that it's kind of crazy to think that Vince would not release Sheamus, would not have let go of the New Day, would not have asked them to restructure their deals or anything like that. Like, it's kind of crazy in a sense that Vince still being in charge means that the New Day would never have been let go. Sheamus potentially right now may not have be almost leaving WWE. So it's kind of crazy how things are being run with TKO. Obviously, business sense, whatever. From a booking perspective, we've been kind of waiting for Sheamus to become that next Grand Slam champion. We know he's been chasing that Intercontinental Championship for so long. And it's fitting, so to speak, that his last WrestleMania, Sheamus has not competed at the last 3 WrestleManias. His last WrestleMania match, fittingly enough, was that triple threat match with Drew McIntyre and Gunther, which was a match of the year candidate in 2023 for the Intercontinental Championship. A title that to this day, Sheamus was still chasing to become a Grand Slam champion. And now he may not ever see that Intercontinental Championship in the WWE and call it a missed opportunity, but I do think Sheamus beating John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship in his last match might have gotten over better than, say, Gunther. Sheamus completing his Grand Slam champion, completing his career essentially as a Grand Slam champion, defeating John Cena in his last match to win the title that he's been chasing forever, and that being fitting to how Sheamus won his first WWE championship. That would have been so amazing to see. So now that begs the question, what's next for Sheamus? Because if he does leave the WWE, where does he go? Obviously AEW. I don't know. I don't know if AEW right now could afford to take in another WWE veteran. I think right now AEW has a good group of young talent, a young core that they can build around. And I think bringing in someone like a Sheamus, they've already taken in guys like Edge, Christian, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. It's one of those things where right now AEW has a good foundation of young talent that they can build. And when I say young talent, I mean homegrown talent that they can build for the future. And bringing in more ex-WWE guys, I think would just kind of hold them back a little bit. I think the idea of Sheamus going to AEW sounds great. I mean, we know right now the Death Riders. I mean, what if Sheamus goes to AEW, convinces Cesaro to turn on the Death Riders, and we get a bar reunion in AEW? Again, that sounds great. I think that would be one of the things people automatically fantasy book, is that Sheamus and Cesaro teaming again or whatever. And again, when you think about the WWE releases this year, I mean, Sheamus going to AEW, and you talk about a tag team division that would potentially consist of Young Bucks, Cope and Christian, the Dogs. You got the New Day, the Machine Guns. I think I've already said that. I mean, now then you add in like someone like a Sheamus, Cesaro into that tag team title mix. I mean, at this point, AEW is being gifted a hell of a tag team division by WWE. And I think, too, Japan would not be a bad idea for Sheamus either. I think Sheamus going to New Japan would be fun. If New Japan wanted to unretire the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, I mean, look, it's not the same as the WWE Intercontinental Championship that the fans have been wanting Sheamus to get for so many years. But I do think it would be kind of funny if New Japan brings back the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and Sheamus is the first person who wins it after they unretire it. I think that would be ironic. But again, Sheamus leaving WWE, it's a shame. It really is that we're not going to be able to see the Sheamus become a Grand Slam champion. I know people have fantasized like, oh, what if he wins in Ireland at a big stadium show in Ireland or something? Like, even for me, like, I think that would be the greatest way to have him win the Intercontinental Championship, is to do it at a big stadium PLE in Ireland. So that seems to be out the window. And who knows what TKO is doing behind the scenes. But man, between Sheamus and the New Day, The term WWE Lifers is now dead. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think of Sheamus leaving WWE? And what do you think should Sheamus do next? Are we talking about AEW, a reunion with Cesaro, or should he go to New Japan? Let me know your comments below, and as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.